Ever since I converted to Catholicism 11 years ago, I've had the unfortunate experience of witnessing some of the most scandalous behaviors among certain Catholics that I simply was just not expecting coming into the church. Some of what I will share may hurt or offend you a little bit. Just know that I am doing this out of love, not resentment or vengeance. I am a wretched sinner, and I don't want to judge anyone. However, there is a reprehensible trend involving select groups of individual Catholics who have seemingly been sucked into what Pope Francis would call a wicked nostalgia, where they are afraid of reform and change within the church to the point where they unwittingly or unwittingly cling on to an ideology of deifying tradition to the point where it becomes backwardism. Now, before you unsubscribe, please know that this absolutely does not include every Catholic who loves tradition, the TLM, and liturgical orthodoxy. It seems like almost every time I address, assess, and rebuke a certain behavior, people automatically assume that I'm talking about them. I am not. This is a very, very stark minority. So this is where it gets kind of interesting. So as a Protestant coming into the church, I left my incorrigible protesting of authority behind me. What I wasn't expecting was such a stark protesting within the Catholic Church. So namely for the Pope and bishops. So like calling the Pope the Antichrist or a heretic, I literally just didn't see coming as I was used to as a Protestant, but not as a Catholic. Yet Catholics all over the United States were using this spirit of Protestantism to undermine the authority of the Catholic Church. Where was I seeing this repulsive behavior? It wasn't just online. It was in real life. It was Catholics who guised their love for tradition under the spirit of protesting. It was Catholics who had a wicked nostalgia. In other words, it was Catholics who had either a subtle or explicit contempt for liturgical reform, namely the Novus Ordo, interfaith dialogue, that is ecumenism, and or anything to do with Pope Francis. Now, 10 years after my conversion, I started this YouTube channel and a Twitter account to boot, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. What have I witnessed in just a year of having this channel? It's the same vitriol in my first 10 years, but only worse. Guys, the real division is not in Protestantism or Orthodoxy. It's in the Catholic Church, particularly between faithful Catholics who assent to the magisterium and unfaithful Catholics, moral schismatics, who would rather choose tradition, a liturgy, or preconciliar time of the church than submit to the Roman pontiff and what he implements. So in my personal life offline, I've had a diocesan priest tell me to my face that Pope Francis is a heretic. We can say was now, obviously. Another diocesan priest critiqued Pope Francis's Amoris Laetitia during his homily at Mass, claiming how wrong the Holy Father was. I've even had Catholics from all generations tell me that they will only go to Mass if it's celebrated in Latin. Now, online, I have seen countless influencers and people destroy Pope Francis's reputation with the Pachamama hoax, suggesting that Pope Francis was a leftist socialist who wanted to make women priests, approve blessings of unions for those of the same gender, and to allow couples in irregular situations to willy-nilly receive Holy Communion. Obviously, I could go on and on and on. So where did this all come from? Why was there seemingly more disdain for Pope Francis, Vatican II, and the Novus Ordo within the Catholic Church than outside of the Catholic Church? Like I mentioned before, 2 words: wicked nostalgia. To clarify, there is a healthy and chaste nostalgia where we can, as Catholics, choose to embrace and take with us on our spiritual journey. But the danger is always lurking, guys. It's always lurking and tempting us to fall back into a memory of the past and to remain stuck there, while undermining any element of change and development within the church. Pope Francis called this the ideology of backwardism, where Catholics are afraid of future change to where they want to cling to what is comfortable and suitable, to the point where they view anything post-conciliar and anyone a part of Novus Ordo Church as enemies, trying to revolutionize and Protestantize the church. I do want to say this, though. We have amazing Catholic apologists doing an amazing job of defending the Catholic faith, especially against attacks from non-Catholics. However, this is just my humble opinion and experience. Not many are really willing to expose this schismatic filth within the church. This video is not meant to attack people or any specific individual person, but it's really to help people by showing them how to help those whom they support, namely those who peddle this propaganda that is more harmful than all the heresies combined. If you see something, just consider, prayerfully discern, prudently and charitably correcting and admonishing these people for the sake of their souls and those who support them. The wicked nostalgia is the true infiltration that has subtly crept into the depths of incorrigible hearts, and ignorant and vulnerable souls are being lost. Tradition is good. The liturgical orthodoxy is good. Even prudent and fraternal correction of prelates is good. What is not good is when popular Catholic influencers who, as moral sedevacantists, masquerade as Catholics faithful to the magisterium under the guise of tradition and liturgical orthodoxy. So that is my introduction. And now we're getting into the transition, into the segue of why it seems, now we're just speculating, but why it seems Mel Gibson, as a Roman Catholic, you could call him maybe a sedevacantist, a sedevacanist, who is considering Orthodoxy, or at least he's visiting Eastern Orthodox monasteries. So there's that. And that kind of relates to my introduction. How is this happening? Why is this happening? What is the problem? Why you should be careful, right, of latching on inordinately to certain elements within the church, like tradition and liturgy and other things. Now, it seems like I said before, every time I bring this up, people just lose their minds. Guys, I might be referring to 2 people in the entire world. So again, I'm just going to reiterate it. If you love tradition, if you love the TLM, if you love preconciliar, devotions and prayers and all that stuff, great. This doesn't apply to you. It only applies to those people that have this mentality where the magisterium, but especially the Pope, doesn't have the authority to bind these people's consciences, so therefore they can remain Catholic, but in their hearts they are, morally schismaticizing themselves from the church. So there's that. So now Mel Gibson, as you guys know, he was seen at an Eastern Orthodox monastery. Here's the speculation. An Eastern Orthodox made a video on this. So it's not just me. Okay. It was all over the internet. It was all over Twitter, I think 1 to 2 weeks ago. Okay. And again, nobody knows. Nobody knows why he was there. Nobody knows if he's actually going to be converting to Eastern Orthodoxy. But we have evidence. We have pictures. And it's not too far-fetched that being a sedevacantist, what's your next move? Usually, unless you're Peter Diamond and Michael Diamond, your next move is usually Eastern Orthodoxy, right? If you don't want Vatican II, if you don't want the Novus Ordo, you might as well go to Eastern Orthodoxy. Even, you can go be an Eastern Catholic and, their divine liturgies. But I'm actually going to play this clip from Mel Gibson. So as you guys know, he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, the Joe Rogan Experience. Oh gosh, a month and a half, 2 months ago, right? And they talked about everything. It was an eclectic conversation. But what came up was his faith, the Catholic Church, sedevacantism, and the Pachamama and all that stuff. So I want to start with this. I want to share with you guys Mel Gibson's perspective, straight from the horse's mouth, because I don't want to have, some vain curiosity and unjust speculation into Mel Gibson's heart and what he really wants to do. So before I play the clip, know that Mel Gibson, right? He grew up Roman Catholic. Now, his father, Mel Gibson's dad, right? His father was a bona fide sedevacantist. His mother I don't think she was a sedevacantist, and I don't think Mel was. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic when you have Mel Gibson being raised by two parents who are Catholic, baptized Catholic, raising him, and one of the parents is a sedevacantist. Okay. But if you know Mel Gibson throughout his career, okay, even though you could probably say he has some sedevacantist vibes, he wasn't full blown like Most Holy Family Monastery sedevacantist until probably recently, like for instance on this podcast. So this is what he had to say. This is where he stands, guys, as of 2 months ago on him as a Catholic and the Catholic Church.
I don't adhere to a post-conciliar church. I adhere.
Can you define what that means?
Okay.
So let me the volume was actually off. So listen again.
I don't adhere to a post-conciliar church.
Okay. He just said he doesn't adhere to a post-conciliar church. I'm not going to let him ramble on. I think he does a not the best job of explaining to Joe Rogan what that is. It's funny because like Joe Rogan, right? Apparently he's going to church, all that stuff. But I'm sure at this time, maybe he was a secularist, humanist, atheist, or whatever. And you say, I don't adhere to the post-conciliar church. And Joe Rogan must just be like, what are you talking about? What is this? But right there from Mel's mouth, he's obviously stating that at least interiorly, right? I mean, he could be still under the jurisdiction of the Catholic Church or whatever, but at least interiorly, he's admitting that he's morally a sedevacantist or, a schismatic. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not judging his culpability, okay, or anything like that, but that's the definition of what a schismatic is. If you don't adhere to the post-conciliar church, you don't adhere to the Pope. If you're not in union with the Pope, right, you're schismatic. So there's that. And then let me just fast forward to, hold on a second, 35:20. I want to play this, and then I want to play something else, and then we'll talk about it. But let me just, 35, okay.
And I think it's all part and parcel of the same corruption that crept in.
Again, I got to pause because I don't want to get copyrighted.
When you asked what's the difference between pre-Vatican II, so Vatican II happened, and of course they took the church and they reformed it.
Okay, so obviously to any, I guess, sedevacantist, sedepravationist, or whatever, the word reform is going to have a huge stigma attached to it. Because like in my introduction, right, any type of change or reform or renewal, whether it's the liturgy or any other part of the church, they're going to hate that because they're going to think you're compromising with the historicity, the orthodoxy, and the tradition of the church.
And they changed things in it, and it didn't necessarily agree with everything that went before it.
Mm.
And up to that point, yeah, you could find it agreed with itself, but all of a sudden, you got something else.
I don't know what he's talking. He's being very vague here. I mean, we could obviously assume what he's alluding to, but I mean, guys, the church is the church is the church. Okay, we've gone through liturgical reforms for the past 2,000 years. I don't know why Vatican II. I think what it was is that Vatican II was fundamentally different than the previous ecumenical councils because they didn't have canons and anathemas. They didn't define and articulate dogma. I mean, they restated it, and so, I mean, really, it was like an ordinary and universal magisterial ecumenical council that we are bound to believe in and confess. But I think they just, the whole ecumenism behind it and just the radical elements of the newness of the new mass, it pricks the conscience of their allegiance to tradition. But
to the point where now, I mean, we got a pope that brought a South American idol into the church to worship.
Okay, guys, the whole Pachamama thing. Now, I we can only go to what we have seen and heard from other people online in real life and everything, unless you were in the Vatican gardens, unless you were speaking directly to Pope Francis and the other prelates. We can only base what we know on that which we have seen and heard. But the whole bringing in an Amazonian idol to worship in the Vatican is just stupid. I'm sorry. It's just dumb. I don't know about you guys, but they were sitting around in this Pachamama, who happens to be Our Lady of the Amazon, and they were partaking in like an indigenous cultural, ecumenical ceremony. I don't remember seeing Pope Francis or any other cardinal or bishop sacrificing, the body and the blood of Christ on an altar to this thing. You know what I mean? So it's like, and I don't want to bring in a name, but I have a very close friend who knows another person that there's one person, one big influencer who really made this all up. I mean, out of whole cloth. Just made it up and ran with it and spread it. And people left the church over the Pachamama thing, guys. You got to understand the magnitude and the severity of these, hoaxes and scandals and things just made up and these conspiracies. People left the church because of the Pachamama. Well, not really the Pachamama, but the people that were, spinning and twisting this into propaganda and conspiracy. Like that's serious stuff. You know what I mean? Very serious stuff.
Really?
He did. The Pachamama. He bought the South and he got.
I don't know what that is.
It's kind of like a South American god, Pachamama.
Why would he do that?
Good question. But he did.
Why would he do that? I have no idea. Good question. So, I mean, why Mel? I love Mel. My favorite movie of all time, and it's never changed, is Braveheart. Okay, so we love Mel Gibson. Okay, this isn't to bash on him or to whatever speculate. But Mel, if you don't know the motive behind this conspiracy that you're purporting, right? This propaganda, most conspiracies have attempted justifications to make them believable. But you're just going to tell me that Pope Francis et al., they brought in the Pachamama to worship this thing just because. And that's a good question. Nobody knows why. Oh, man, I don't know. How do people believe in this? I don't understand it. I really don't.
Did he have an explanation for why he did it?
Yeah, it's kind of a weasel worded thing of like, oh, all religions are just as good as one another. But if that's
okay, so now he's referring to all religions are paths to God, which is completely different than the Pachamama incident. There's no connection there. What is this? That's a pretty good still shot of him. There's no correlation or connection from Pachamama to what he said in Singapore to those teenagers, that all religions are paths to God. And he's just saying, oh, willy-nilly, that's why he did it. That's why he brought Pachamama in and sacrificed, our Lord's body and blood to this idol, is because all religions are the same. Oh man, you know what? I don't know. Again, we love Mel. I don't know if people were, watching this and really like, oh my gosh, wow, how could anyone be Catholic? And if people actually left, that would be just absolutely sad. But
his contention.
He shouldn't be the Pope.
No. I mean,
how can you be the Pope if you say all religions are just as good?
Yeah, we all worship, So, yeah.
He never said that. He said all religions are paths to God. Okay. If you know anything about Nostra Aetate and Lumen Gentium, it talks about elements of truth and sanctification in other religions, or elements of truth and goodness in other religions, right? So despite the error and the falsity of the religion itself, through natural law, through natural good works, people in those religions can become prepared and disposed with prevenient graces, right? That will lead them to the fullness of the truth, fullness of the gospel. Okay. That's all that he was saying. So when Pope Francis was saying all religions are paths to God, I don't know, maybe he could have qualified the path, but when I heard it, I'm like, dude, he's just reiterating Nostra Aetate and Lumen Gentium. That's all he's doing. It's a path. He's not saying all religions are equal. All religions are the way, the truth, and the life. You know what I mean? And he's not telling it to us. He's telling it to people of other religions. And he's, again, like I was saying, he's just echoing Vatican II Nostra Aetate.
There's a Pachamama. There you go.
So he brought that in.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. We got pictures of Pope Francis with an indigenous Amazonian, I don't know if that's a lady or a gentleman. You know, obviously he Googled Pachamama. What is Pope Francis? Okay, where are they? First of all, let's just get this out of the way. Where are they in this picture? Let's just go off this picture. Are they in the Vatican? Do you see an altar anywhere? Because you can celebrate the sacrifice of the Mass outside. You just need an altar. You need an altar. Where's the altar? How are they worshiping this thing? Guys, do you know who made this hoax up? I mean, I should just say the name, but I just I don't like it. You guys know. Why don't you ask one of the guys in the chat? They know who made this whole thing up and just ran with it for months and months and months and months and months. But guys, just look at that picture. Do you see Pope Francis or others worshiping this thing or turning it into an idol? You know what I mean? Where they have music, like the golden calf, right? They come down, or Moses comes down from Mount Sinai, and what does Moses see? Pope Francis taking this Pachamama from this indigenous woman out of respect and ecumenism. Like, do you think Moses would have thrown the tablets of the Decalogue at Pope Francis for just, having an ecumenical, charitable dialogue ceremony? Just read, guys. Think for yourselves. Think for yourselves. Don't just go to Mel Gibson.
Vatican. Then the hierarchy even worshipped. They had a ceremony around it outside.
What? He just said the hierarchy even worshipped. They have a ceremony. A ceremony is not worship. Come on.
What?
Well, that constitutes apostasy.
Yeah.
That's an apostasy move. All right.
Worshiping false gods.
Yeah. That's number one.
He's got Joe Rogan on board with Mel. Mel and Joe are like bromancing out about this. Like Joe Rogan, he doesn't know Catholicism. They're like, yeah, the Pope can't do this. The Pope can't worship the Pachamama. What is he doing? And Mel's all like, yeah, sedevacantism. Like, let's go, bro.
One on the Mosaic hit list. You
Yeah.
know? Moses goes up on the mountain. He comes back down. People are worshiping a golden calf.
Yeah.
It's that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, guys. I didn't know he was going to say that. I promise. I had no idea he was going to say that.
You can't do that. And for me, that's a departure from that's called apostasy.
Okay.
Right.
So it's funny because the golden calf thing. Why was the golden calf incident idolatry? Do you guys remember? It's right there in Scripture. What does it say? They attribute the reverence and the honor due to God alone to the golden calf. So the golden calf, not God, but the golden calf brought them out of Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Where any element of that in the whole, Our Lady of the Amazon Pachamama incident, where do we got going on there? You know what I mean? Okay. So this is it, guys. So check it out. So now you have some background of Mel Gibson. Okay. And in the interview, he also stated that, why he's a sedevacantist really goes back to the Conclave for St. John the 23rd, right? And how he took the name of an anti-pope, St. John the 22nd, and that at the Conclave, there was white smoke initially, and then it turned into black smoke. So really, they did elect a true pope, and then the Italian mob or mafia whacked the dude right away, and so then the black smoke came up, and we don't have a pope because that true pope, right, the legitimate successor of St. Peter, he's dead, and so this new pope, John the 23rd, is an anti-pope because he wasn't legitimately selected as a pope. So that's his conspiracy. And that's where he was with Joe Rogan. Like, yeah, there's been no real true pope. The seat has been empty. Now, some have speculated that Joe Rogan, that Mel Gibson has, it's what's called a sedevacanist theory. So you guys heard of sedevacantism. Basically, the seat is empty, alluding to the chair of St. Peter, right? It's like literally empty. You know what I mean? So anyone in that chair is an anti-pope, not a real, so it's just empty. But then a sedevacanist, the pope is legitimate, but he's just missing certain charisms of like an authentic pope. So he's like a quasi pope. You know what I mean? So I think, and this is a good segue into our next section, right? So I was going to do a video on this, not a live stream, but a video on this, and someone beat me to the punch. And I'm glad he did, because there's something here that we can learn from this whole situation of Mel Gibson, who is reportedly, suspectedly to maybe convert to Eastern Orthodoxy. So I don't know if you guys know this guy. His name is Kyle. He's an Eastern Orthodox. Now, what's interesting about him is that he was a Roman Catholic, okay? And let me just full screen this. He was a Roman Catholic, but he got introduced to the TLM, the beauty of the TLM. Again, guys, this is not a hit on the TLM or anyone who has a chaste, holy attachment to the TLM. I don't want to, just stop. It has nothing to do with that. But and then he came across these Vatican II documents and post-conciliar magisterial statements, and he said, whoa, these are all contradicting preconciliar statements and declarations of the ecumenical councils and stuff. So he's like, gosh, I'm in a real pickle. What do I do here? Like, I love the traditional liturgies. You know what I mean? He's like, oh my gosh, well, Eastern Orthodoxy, they have very, Orthodox, no pun intended, Orthodox liturgies, their divine liturgies. I don't know why he didn't go Eastern Catholic, but that's why he went Catholic. But this is just listen to this. And then there's a picture that he has that I want you guys to, it's kind of interesting, because this is what I was going to do.
Himself has never described himself as a fully sedevacantist. He definitely has a lot of leanings. I think he's defined himself more as a sedeprivation.
Sorry, he's talking about Mel Gibson.
When I first converted to Catholicism, I didn't know about Orthodoxy. I didn't know about traditional Catholicism. I was just going to my average Catholic church. And as I got more and more into my faith, I started to see a lot of people talked about the traditional Latin Mass and Vatican II. And when I went to the TLM, I'm like, this is way better. And then learning about these liturgical innovations, that you have to accept these changes, I'm like, I can't do that. Well, how could the Catholic Church err so significantly? And then seeing the clear contradictions in Vatican II, I've talked about that in so many videos. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because Mel Gibson clearly is just...
All right. He beat me to the punch on this one. I'm not going to lie. So I was here. Let me try to get more of a full screen for you. I was going to make a similar graph, picture, whatever, curve, slope, whatever you want to call it. I'm not kidding. Now, it wasn't going to look exactly like this with the same exact people and all the words. It wasn't. But I promise you. So the whole point of Mel Gibson and me doing a video right now, the whole point of this, and please don't think I'm talking to you or alluding to you if you have a healthy attachment to the TLM tradition or whatever, okay? Don't just, please. I'm not here to start a fight. I'm done with that stuff. But it's a reality, guys. It's a reality because we've seen this manifest in a lot of the people that have went up and down this curve or slope. You know what I mean? Again, one more time. This does not apply to everybody. It does not apply to you if you're listening. I have to, like, seriously, I'm not bashing anything to do with the TLM or tradition or anything like that. Okay. So obviously you guys might have to help me with some of these people on here. I think I know most of them. Okay. So to the far left here, where it says denial, regular trad, I think that's Nick Fuentes, NJF or whatever. I think you might have to help me on that. So basically it says regular trad. Vatican II is actually trad. I don't go to Novus Ordo anyway. But this is where it starts, okay? You have this like disillusionment. You're thinking, well, I'm just going to say Vatican II is based. I'm going to say Novus Ordo is licit just because, I'm a Catholic and all that stuff. But I want to be traditional. You know what I mean? I want to latch on to the TLM, even if it's a healthy attachment. and just kind of distance myself from the Novus Ordo and this Vatican II nonsense, right? So you're up here. I think that's Nick Fuentes. I hope. I don't know. I don't know who that is. And then, it gets down here, and then I don't know who that guy is with the bow tie. Is that Bill Nye the Science Guy? I think that's St. Thomas Aquinas, but this is Michael Voris. Do you remember Michael Voris? He was what was that called? The Vortex, I believe. The no spin with his pencil. And he was obviously radical traditionalist. It's pretty apparent, right? So we go from denial to anger. Remember, so this is like the curve of Cope with Vatican II and the Novus Ordo, right? So then we go from denial to anger, and that's where you get Michael Voris. Okay, the Eucharist on the hands is demonic. But no, guys, I know it's kind of like humorous or whatever, but there's some truth here. Okay, there's some truth. All right. And then you go down to Taylor Marshall. I like Taylor Marshall. I do. I'm not just saying that as a pretext. When Pope Francis was dying, Taylor Marshall prayed a rosary for Pope Francis, and it was the most sincere rosary. So again, I'm not bashing on these guys, but this is just an illustration. It's not my Kirk. So this is what's called bargaining SSPX. The Pope has betrayed us, but we need him. Now, this is where you get into privationism. Remember, I was telling you don't think that the chair is empty per se, the Pope. It's not vacant per se, but you think that there is some fundamental flaws with either Vatican II and or the current Pope, and so you're dabbling in like the SSPX. And that's not to bash the SSPX. I know great priests in the SSPX and faithful for that matter. So no, this isn't a bash stream. It's not a bash. I have to answer that. That's a horrible picture of me. Where's trad beard? I know, right? Like this is when you were Latin. Now you're like Eastern with that beard. Dr. Taylor Marshall, can you come up here? All right. And then now this is where it gets weird. This is where it gets weird. But this is the relevance of when you go down this rabbit hole. It's gradual, so the interior moral descent. Guys, it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen to everybody, too. I'm not saying Taylor Marshall or Nick Fuentes or all these people that they're going to end up Eastern Orthodox. No, I'm just saying that this has happened, and it's a possibility and a temptation that you should prepare yourself for. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so now you're going up the curve of Cope. Now you're going towards Eastern Orthodoxy, but you're not there yet. Okay, so here's a quote: "Novus Ordo is the mark of the beast." Who is this guy right here? Can someone help me? Right here, next to Taylor Marshall. I don't know who that is. But now you're going from bargaining to depression, and that's where you get into full-blown sedevacantism. Now you have Michael and Peter Diamond. That's right by Mel Gibson. That's Michael and Peter Diamond. They are bona fide sedevacantists. And I know that sounds really bad, but hey, at least they have the, I don't want to say courage because it's not courageous, but at least they have the goal to go full blown. Because I guarantee you, there are a lot of people within the church, guys, that are moral sedevacantists, but they just don't have, like you might as well be one if you're going to be one. I don't want anyone to be. Okay. And then you go up to acceptance. Guys, this is like the grief, the 5 stages of grief, right? Well, here you got Mel Gibson, right? You got Mel Gibson. Now, Mel Gibson was right here with the Diamond Brothers. He was a legitimate bona fide sedevacantist. But he didn't start here, guys. He started way back probably with Nick Fuentes. I don't know the dynamics of his childhood and his adolescence and young adult life. I don't know how much he was like in the SSPX and all that stuff. But he started somewhere, and he gradually got to here. And then we get to the acceptance of orthodoxy. And really what it comes down to, in a sense, is you want everything that the Catholic Church has, right? Especially liturgically, well, kind of, at least preconciliar. But you don't want papal supremacy, papal infallibility, universal jurisdiction by the Pope. So it's like, oh gosh, if I can have everything Catholicism has to offer, in a sense, aside from the Pope, let's just go Eastern Orthodox. Now, do you know Jay Dyer, guys? Do you know Jay Dyer? was a Protestant Calvinist, converted to Catholicism. He was a Catholic for more than a decade. Okay. He admitted to Ruslan KD. He admitted to Ruslan that he spent like 10 years in the SSPX. Now, I'm not judging that. I'm not saying I'm not even going to say it's bad. Okay. I'm not. But I'm just saying he would read Nostra Aetate, Lumen Gentium, and it would mess with his mind. Jay Dyer. It would mess with him. Like, how on earth can I reconcile this with preconciliar declarations, magisterial declarations? And so he finally said, enough's enough, I'm becoming Eastern Orthodox. Now, what's ironic, what does Jay Dyer, actually, he kind of laid off of this for a while, but if you know Jay Dyer in the past like 6 years, what has he always brought up with Catholicism when he's debating it? Like 9 out of 10 times when he's debating Catholicism. Yeah, Nostra Aetate, Lumen Gentium. He's got a sedevacantist hangover, and he's taken it with him into Eastern Orthodoxy. Now, this does not encapsulate everybody's experience, okay? Or anyone who's watching this, okay? I'm just saying this is a real possibility. An Eastern Orthodox, Kyle, his name's Kyle, I don't know his last name, he made this. And I agree with this. This is definitely a possibility for people who dabble like this and try to undermine Vatican II, liturgical reform, all that jazz, and what the Pope says, our current Pope. But does this make sense to you? This dude beat me to the punch. God bless this dude, and kind of, for making this, because this is the whole point of the video I was going to make. That introduction I wrote that right when Mel Gibson was seen at that Eastern Orthodox monastery. Literally, I wrote that script, but then I laid off because there was a lot of heat with some rad trads coming at me. So I just like, probably not the best time. So guys, please like and subscribe. If you're not subscribing, guys, it hurts my heart because so many people are watching and not subscribing, and I can't go to sleep at night. All right.
Satisfied with the Catholic Church. And as a Catholic, you have to submit to the Pope. You have to submit to the universal magisterium. Vatican II has to be accepted if you're Catholic. And so I'm really happy to see that Mel Gibson visited an Orthodox monastery in Mount Athos. Athos is a holy mountain. It's probably the closest thing you're going to get to heaven on earth. It was established as a center of organized monastic life. Athos got its autonomy and administrative structure. When you read Catholic Dogma and Denzinger, you see you have to submit to the living magisterium. Vatican I makes it so clear, and it makes the sedevacantist position or any pretty much trad Catholic position impossible. Because
now, did you hear that? He says that Vatican I makes any sedevacantist position impossible. I don't know if Michael Corleone is listening or on here. I don't know if he's not. But he always tells me, there's no way you can read Vatican I and be a sedevacantist. I'm paraphrasing him. But it's so true. Like, read Vatican I, read the canons, read the definitive articulations of Vatican I, the indefectibility of the church and the Roman pontiff. Like, how do you be a sedevacantist and still adhere and assent to Vatican I? It makes no sense whatsoever. Absolutely no sense.
Because the church is indefectible, including in its right in Catholic theology. You have to submit to the living authority, the Pope. You have to accept all these changes. And so when I realized that, it's like, I can't be a sedevacantist. Can I be like SSPX? But no, SSPX is violating canon law. It's not a clear position. And so it makes much more sense just to say that the Catholic Church has erred. It has defected versus the Orthodox Church has stayed true. I mean, even in the Catholic Church, the way that it's going with the TLM is the only reverent liturgy left is going to be the Eastern Catholic Divine Liturgy. And at that point, why not just become the real thing, not fake Orthodox? Comment your favorite Mel Gibson movie below.
Okay, that's it. Not your fake Eastern Catholic liturgy. That's funny. Okay, so that's Mel Gibson. Okay, so all I wanted to say is that it can become a slippery slope when you are, in your heart, you're very doubtful or displeased with the current magisterium. And then you go down this like backwardism rabbit hole of questioning and doubting Vatican II and the liturgical reform, among other things. Okay. It starts out interiorly. Maybe it comes with some of the people that you watch online, some YouTube Catholics, I don't know. It starts somewhere, and then unfortunately, if people go unchecked and don't examine themselves, it can lead right into SSPX, sedevacantism, right into Eastern Orthodoxy. It's happened with people. It's happened with Jay Dyer, and it looks like it's happening with Mel Gibson. So pray for Mel Gibson. For real, pray for Mel Gibson. I mean that, guys. We love Mel Gibson. We wouldn't have the Passion of the Christ without Mel Gibson, you know? He's our homeboy. Go watch Braveheart. I did have a super chat here. Only one in the last 42 minutes, guys. I need support. Got out of mass and the homily was on too much of a good thing, like watching too much Catholic YouTube and not feeding the homeless or praying too much and not cooking for your family. What do you think? Yeah, and not super chatting me enough. I'm just kidding. You did, but the other people. So watching too much and not feeding the homeless, praying too much and not cooking for your family. What do you think? I'm trying to figure out your question here. Okay, so yeah, anything not in moderation and tempered is bad, right? If you have an inordinate attachment to something where you're spending way too much time on it. So I'll just tell you straight up, guys, I have a problem. And I've had it for a long time, and that's this right here. Oh, there's my daughter. Whoops. I don't know. It's hard for me. I got to shut it off, throw it in the pond, or put it somewhere else. It's ridiculous. So I admit it. So yeah, you're absolutely right. You really got to pray for the graces. You can't, again, here's the thing, guys. You can't just pray for the graces. You have to will it too. You know what I mean? Because like I pray for these graces, but I don't have that willpower. Remember St. Augustine? He wanted to change his life. He said, Lord, change my life, but just not yet, kind of thing. Well, that's because he wanted it, but he didn't. He didn't want to will it. So that's that. Feeding the homeless, again, if it's prudent, if you have the means to do it, there are other ways of corporal works of mercy, spiritual works of mercy. Praying too much. The only thing I can say about praying too much is, what do you mean by what kind of prayer? When you get up in the morning and consecrate your whole day to God, right? Like with the intention of giving everything over to him, that really makes the day into one whole like prayer. Now, if you're talking about vocal prayer, sure, yeah, you can do that too much. Like for instance, I have a family, I have a wife and 3 daughters. If I'm praying, I don't know, 8 rosaries when I should be, making supper, helping put the kids down, that's praying too much in that sense. In that sense, remember, your vocation is first before everything. Your salvation lies within your vocation. So like when you're taking care of your kids and your wife and all this stuff, that's prayer, as long as it's done for God. You know what I mean? Love of God and love of neighbor. Okay. I think we're going to go into Charlie Kirk. You guys want to go into Charlie Kirk? Guys, I love trads. I do. I don't even want to call them trads. I love them. I love them. I love them. Okay. I have no beef with any trad. They can teach us a lot, guys. And I mean that. That's not a pretext. Thanks, Echoes. You're my man. You're my man. One of the bigger supporters of my channel. Love it. Just love it. Okay, so Charlie Kirk time. This perhaps maybe is, I don't know, more substantive than, or maybe more positive than the Joe Rogan, than Mel Gibson. Now, I just heard of this. So if you don't know Charlie Kirk, he's a political ideologue. He's a conservative. I think he's conservative. Yeah. He's got a, political podcast, and the Turning Point is his organization or whatever. And he's pretty popular. He's got like, 3 million subscribers on YouTube. And then he actually, what he does a lot is he goes around campuses, university campuses, college campuses, and he will set up a booth and invite people. Oh my gosh, do I really look like that, guys? Am I hutched? I need a new chair. How come no one told me that I look like that? Huh? No one. Oh my gosh, that's so bad. I look like Igor or something. So bad. All right, guys. I'm setting a goal. I'm just gonna go 15 super chats. Last night it was 20, and we got like 23. Okay. If we get up to 15 super chats, I will shave my eyebrows. Not tonight. Okay, just chill. Because I'm going to shave my head on a live stream. Now, if we get 15 super chats, I'll shave my eyebrows on a live stream. Cool? All right. Let's see. What did I miss? Echoes. Did I miss some questions here? Ben, what can I do if when I pray I struggle too much with, did I pronounce that right, or I got to redo that prayer? Also, thank you for your work. So that sounds like, again, I'm not saying you're scrupulous, okay? But that really is scruples. When it comes to prayer, don't ever worry about, did I pronounce that right? Did I miss a bead? You know what I mean? You got to remember, guys, why are we praying? Are we praying so we get every single pronunciation correct? Are we praying so we get every bead in and we don't miss any? What's the whole purpose of a prayer? Like the rosary, you don't have to pray the rosary. Why do you pray it though? If it's not ordered towards love of God and the increase of love of God and neighbor, why are you doing it? Then honestly, it's vain repetition. So don't worry about any of that. Like none of that. Again, and if you do miss, like, if you're praying a litany of the Sacred Heart and you miss a line, don't worry about it. Just keep going. Because the whole like, oh, I missed a line, I got to go back and do it, or I got to, like, the devil will use that as a playground to mess with your spirituality and your prayer. You know what I mean? Because it takes the focus off of why you're doing it. You know what I mean? It's like, am I praying to get every single word in correctly in a timely you know what I mean? Like it's an exercise that has to be done perfectly, meticulously. That defeats the purpose of prayer, in my opinion. But okay, you ready for Charlie Kirk? Let's do it. So Charlie Kirk, on his show, was talking about toxic feminism. I mean, we know about toxic feminism, right? Now, I want to have a little qualifier and a caveat here, okay? I would say that feminism usually is an ideology, and that's not good. Anytime you got an ISM behind something like feminism or Marxism, or usually, not all the time, but it's an ideology. It's a negative thing, right? Of indoctrination and a movement to undermine like the common good of society and stuff like that, which obviously first, second, third wave of feminism. Yeah. But some people will argue that there are elements of those movements and waves that are good. But I think you can take the stigma out of feminism and use it as a, what would you say, kind of revitalizing womanhood and the dignity of women. But what that means is not like, oh, they should become priests. Oh, they should, be whatever. They should do stuff that only men can do. That's when it becomes narcissistic ideology, propaganda stuff. But I think if you have a holy and chaste feminism where women realize their role in society and the gifts that they have been given, and that they're made in the image of God, and that they are equal to men, but they're not the same as men. They have a complementary role to men. But yeah, the toxic feminism, this whole idea that women want to do anything and everything that a man does, and then some. And I think it just comes from, obviously, ego, right? Because women, taken out of the side of Adam, was made for Adam, and they have a limited kind of. You got to remember, like when we're talking about subordinate or not subordinate, I'm sorry, submissive. It's in terms of the role of like the wife. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that they have more dignity or whatever. So like a wife and a husband, right? So the husband is the head of the household, the head of the domestic church, right? The wife is not. That doesn't mean the wife is any less of a human being or a spouse or a mother or a Christian or anything like that. It's just we have certain roles that are ordered towards, you know, our eternal destinies and the upbringing of children and society and the common good and stuff like that. So once you try to like reverse the roles or twist them or get, you know, women thinking that they can become priests or help me out. I'm trying to think of an example that a woman shouldn't do what a man does. I'm really struggling. But now the flip side of that is, you know, some of our beloved Catholics and Catholic influencers, they take it to where it's like, you know, if you're a woman, you can't work outside the home. You literally have to be stuck in the home as a homemaker, taking care of the kids. To me, I'm just saying humbly, like that's a misinterpretation of past encyclicals from our popes. And it's funny because they rarely quote St. John Paul II, who, you know, with the theology of the body, not revolutionized, but really gave a deepening of understanding on the human person when it comes to male, female, and the sexual relations that they have conjugally or whatever. But all right, I'm so sorry. That's so much yapping. I'm so sorry. Wow, I'm done yapping. All right, let me share my screen. Charlie Kirk in the house. Yep. So he wants to have, he thinks we should, gosh, where is it? Oh, there it is. He thinks we should turn to our Blessed Mother, Mary, to eradicate toxic feminism. And I couldn't agree more. Oh my gosh, let me make this bigger. I don't use Instagram. What is this hot mess? How do I, here, let me just do this. Cool? You guys like? You like? Okay. All right, I'm going to play this, and then we'll get into the real deal, Evander Holyfield.
First say, I think we as Protestant evangelicals under-venerate Mary. She was very important. She was a vessel for our Lord and Savior. I think that we as evangelicals and Protestants, we've overcorrected. We don't talk about Mary enough. We don't venerate her enough. Mary was clearly important to early Christians. There's something there. In fact, I believe one of the ways that we fix toxic feminism in America is Mary is the solution. Have more young ladies be pious, be reverent, to be full of faith, slow to anger, slow to words at times. Mary is a phenomenal example, and I think a counter to so much of the toxicity of feminism in the modern era. But let me first say, I think we as Protestant evangelicals under-venerate Mary. She was very important. She was a vessel for our Lord and Savior.
Okay. So, you know, I don't know what you guys, maybe in the comments, tell me what you think in the comments regarding Charlie Kirk's words. You know, because people are probably like thinking this from a political angle, and, you know, inordinate toxic femininity and how it, you know, obviously plagues our society and our families and all that stuff. But I was just thinking how Charlie received this grace to say what he said. How Charlie is appealing to, he said, Protestants and evangelicals to go to our Blessed Mother, to venerate her, to honor her, to model your lives after her. Now, anybody know who this is? I will probably give you maybe $100. Anyone have a guess at who that is? I'll give you a hint. It has to do with a Marian apparition. Okay? A Marian apparition. Dude, bro, that's not a spooky photo. That's a religious, consecrated nun, dude. You're a spooky photo. Okay, so, all right, I'm just going to get into it, okay? I don't know how much of a lag or delay there is. I'm going to get right into this, guys. Okay, let me ask this. The United States, the United States, where where in the United States is the only approved, Vatican approved Marian apparition? Where? Tell me where. You can tell me where and when. Tell me where and when. Where was it? Guys, this is important. This has everything to do with Charlie Kirk and Our Lady. It has everything to do with it. Everything. And you heard it here first. I'm connecting the dots, okay? I'm in the CIA. I'm figuring it out. Minnesota, that's where I'm from, but no. Okay, that close, super close, Grover.
Oh, little Grover. We love little Grover.
So yes, Wisconsin. Yes. Okay. So this is the seer, right, of the apparition of Our Lady of Good Help, or Our Lady of Champion in Champion, Wisconsin. Her name was Adele Bryce. Adele Bryce, right? She's from Belgium. She was an immigrant to the United States with her family, became a religious, saw her Blessed Mother on the road twice, talked to her confessor. Her confessor said, hey, you need to ask her, this lady, who you are and what it is you want of me, right? And then Our Lady said this. I have to share this with you guys. This is why Charlie Kirk might become a Catholic, and maybe a lot of people follow his footsteps. Okay. Hold on just a second. So this is what Our Lady said to Adele Bryce, the sister. Hold on a second. I gotta pull it up. Patience is a virtue, you guys. All right, just beautiful. Okay, so blah 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 blah. She's walking down the road. She sees Our Lady. You see her you see the picture on the right? That's Adele kneeling. That's our Blessed Mother. Okay, golden sash, white robe, crown, 12 stars on her head. Okay, this is what Our Lady said right here. This is the important part, and this is what I want to kind of bring into here. Let me here. Oh, shiver me timbers, guys. Whoops. Okay. Our Lady said, I am the Queen of Heaven who prays for the conversion of sinners, and I wish you to do the same. You received Holy Communion this morning, and that is well, but you must do more. Make a general confession and offer communion for the conversion of sinners. If they do not convert and do penance, my son will be obliged to punish them. Okay, so do you guys know anything about Our Lady and her apparitions? All over the world, right? Not like, every single square mile, but you know what I mean? They're all over the world. They're universal for a universal church. And usually they're to humble and meek individuals, children. This sister, Adele Bryce, she was blind in one eye and couldn't read or write. Okay. Now, I want you to remember, at least in the last couple hundred years, but most of the Marian apparitions, the message is what? What are we trying to do with these apparitions? Why does Our Lady want us to pray? Why does she pray? Is it for, unity in the church, ecumenism? Is it for perseverance? Is it for growth in virtue? Is it, whatever, feeding the hungry? No. They're all ordered towards God, but they're for the conversion of souls, the conversion of sinners. Our Lady, right now, guys, Our Lady is in a cosmological, eschatological battle with the devil right now. Read Revelation 12, okay? Revelation 12, verse 17. Then the dragon was angry with the woman and went off to make war on the rest of her offspring, on those who keep the commandments of God and bear testimony to Jesus, and he stood on the sand of the sea. All right, I have a question for you guys. Question, trivia question. Be honest. Type it. Whom does the devil hate more, God or Mary? Okay, that's the question. That's the trivia question. Whom does the devil hate more, God or Mary? Oh, gosh, I love you guys. Mary, 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 Mary. Yes. Amen. Mother Angelica, if you've ever seen her talk on this. Okay. when it comes to God, there's an infinite chasm between an angel or fallen angel or a creature like a human being and God, right? But when you're going to battle, right? You can't battle God, you guys. You can't battle, you know what I mean? What are you going to do? But the devil's a creature and Mary's a creature. And obviously, per Genesis 3:15, right? The enmity was placed by God. Remember, the enmity between Mary and the devil, that was placed there by God. That's what Genesis 3:15 says. God, part of his fall from grace was the knowledge of seeing as a cherub, the knowledge of seeing that he would have to venerate and honor not just a human being, but a female. He's like, not doing that. And then the pride really is what crushed him. But yeah, that's how Our Lady crushed him. So why am I saying all this? Now I'm going to get a little personal, just a little. My conversion to the Catholic Church, my conversion. The only reason I am sitting here today on this channel talking to you guys as a Catholic is because of Our Lady. My grandma was the most Marian person ever. Ever. All she did was pray. That's all she did. She was a widow. Her kids were grown. She would pray for what? The conversion of her family members, her sons, her grandkids, whatever. The rosary. And she was just so devout to Our Lady of Fatima. And the message of because Our Lady of Fatima was the same thing. Pray the rosary for what? The conversion of souls, those in most need of thy mercy. That's why I'm here right now. So my point in all of this is when you see Charlie Kirk make a statement like that, that is a grace from Our Lady. That is a grace that Our Lady obtained and gave to him. So I would suggest pray for Charlie Kirk, right? To keep his heart and his mind open to the graces that Our Lady is going to give him. If that were to happen, guys, if Charlie Kirk, see, here's the thing. You probably think, oh, he's just saying this for some political motive or whatever. He's just ad hoc talking. It sounded sincere to me. But you got to understand, guys, Our Lady wants his conversion more than anybody. And it will be through her intercession if he does convert. Mark my words, guys. Don't think it's impossible. Think there's nothing impossible with God. He will and should become Catholic. Maybe within the next year or two. I don't know. But for someone as a Protestant to say that online, through a podcast or show or whatever, as a Protestant, it's a huge grace. It's not like he said that on his own because he's a Protestant. We've been under-venerating Mary. We haven't been appreciating her. We haven't been talking about her. I wish you would have said we haven't been praying to her, like, where's the rosary and all this. But, nonetheless, like, that's a huge victory, guys. When I was a Protestant, you wouldn't catch me dead saying something like that. You would not catch me dead saying something like that at all. Okay? So good for Charlie Kirk. But remember, every apparition of Mary, why are these happening, guys? Why are these apparitions happening? She's going, they're not happening every day, everywhere. But you know what I mean? All over the globe, from Japan to Wisconsin, Egypt, Fatima, Lourdes. I mean, all over the place, And she's saying, pray for the conversion of sinners. Why? I'm telling you, the time is close. I don't know if it's going to be in 10 years or 100,000 years, but it's close. The devil only has so much time. His time will run out. So Our Lady is appearing to people to give, these seers, these people to receive her message, these private revelations, to pray for the conversion of sinners. So my encouragement to you guys, and maybe we can have a rosary stream, pray for Charlie's conversion, pray for Mel Gibson's, reversion, whatever you want to call it. Pray for the conversion of sinners. I think our Lord in St. Faustina's diary said his favorite prayer, like Jesus, his favorite prayer that to receive from people, on earth, for the conversion of sinners. I mean, that's what we're here, guys. That's what we're here for. We're here to save souls. We're here for the conversion of sinners. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's all I had. Yeah. We got through it all. That's it. That's all. So if you guys want to open it up for Q&A or just talking smart with me, getting weird. Yeah, that's all I got. I mean, that's really all I got. Let's relax a little bit and have some fun. All right, what did I miss? Any questions? I know my posture's bad. It's because of my chair. Don't hate me, guys. What? I deny Vishnu? Okay. What, does that make you happy? You should have given me like a super chat to do that. Thanks, Ann. Appreciate it. Billy's in the house. Did I miss a super chat? No. Thanks, guys. I gotta sit up straight. Oh, thanks. Appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know. Stuff is happening. We're in the last days, and okay, so this is the Catholic Christian t-shirt. Okay, fine. Who wants a t-shirt? You're gonna have to either make me laugh, impress me, stump me. I don't know. You're gonna have to do something to win a free t-shirt. But I have 25 t-shirts. I gotta send out like 5 to people that I haven't yet. Let's see here. Wait, who said that? All these webcam dads need to just chill out and not have a channel. Who said that? That's funny. Yeah, I don't know. Keep buying memberships, but my name doesn't turn green. I think you have to manually do it. Are you trying to become a member? All you have to do is click join, and it's $5. And then, yeah, I don't know why. That's weird. Jacob, thanks, my friend. My tithe. Hey, I appreciate your tithe. So I'm guessing. So what's 10%? That's 200. 10% of $200, right? That's pretty good, man. Thanks a lot. Oh, okay. Would you guys consider me a webcam dad? That's okay. I can take it. Yes, Ben. Absolutely 100%. I'm just not to that point yet. Because YouTube takes a huge cut. And I know StreamYards doesn't. So guys, have you subscribed, please? Cigar Mode, have you subscribed? I love the picture. I'm getting a Padron 4000. And I'm gonna go in a hot tub in Minnesota and smoke the heck out of it. Oh shoot, this thing is. Yes, 30%. Yes, they do take 30%. It's a Ponzi scheme. Guys, YouTube is a racket. It's just a huge racket. It's messed up. Thank you, Jacob, for the super chat, by the way. Really appreciate it. And thank you to Ben, Echoes of Tradition, and Daniel, if you're still here. Thank you so much. You guys keep my lights on. Byzantine Finest, are you subscribed? I remember when IP Michael Jones said, like it or not, Mary is queen, so a lot of people say he might be Catholic. I don't know, but there are high-end prots that admit Mary's high-end prots. It's queen. Well, yeah, I mean, we have, like Redeemed Zoomer and Cleave to Antiquity, they confess to believe in Mary's perpetual virginity and her divine maternity. Probably not the Immaculate Conception or Assumption, but we'll take what we can get, boys. Oh, we made up and kissed, or kissed and made up. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. We messaged each other. We're good. We're good. I like those guys. Wait, IP, is that Inspiring Philosophy? Who is that? Wait, what is this? I think it would be amazing if you made up your whole made your whole family up, that you were just grifting with the facade as a YouTube. Gosh, if that would help me more. I think saying that I have a family helps me more, to be honest. Oh yeah, but then I'm like, it's getting towards the end of the month, kind of not really, and I'm gonna be out of town and I can't live stream. So I'm like, all right, I'm live streaming tonight. Yes, no homo, no homo. We're not into that. Guys, do you have any good questions or comments, or just? I guess we can just chill. I'm cool. I'm cool with that. You know, just do you want me to react to anything or anything funny or? Yeah, I couldn't. I wouldn't be able to read the comments, so I just. If you guys just want to listen to me yap for, we could do a 9-hour live stream where I just yap for 9 hours on the road. You want to hear that? Yeah, I know a little bit. Francisco, are you subscribed? You better be. Kamusta po mabuti kili kili walang anaman. I know a little bit. So the people in the car with you or on the way back from Cali were paid actors. Yes. Guys, my marriage is just for show. It's a commercial. Okay. It's just to help me in life. Right. So if I say I have a wife and kids that I got to take care of, I get more support from you financially. And then I just take it to the casino. I just bet it all on black. Ni hao. Oh man, let's not bring up the Chinese jokes. I don't know, guys. Oh my gosh, of course, Big Stack. I don't know if you wanna dox yourself a little bit and tell me your first name, but calling you Big Stack, I don't know. I guess I can do that. But yeah, you're welcome, man. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. I've seen you on other channels. Truck stops. Like, yeah, I'm driving a semi to. Yeah, I don't know. Thank you, Byzantine. Appreciate it. Anyone else want to subscribe and make my day? What would my Pope name be? Augustine. Well, I mean, right? Come on. Oh, but just phonetically, right? Just the way it sounds. Wouldn't Bonaventure be based? Pope Bonaventure. I'm just talking about phonetics. I mean, we love saying Bonaventure, but I'm just saying that would be dope. Oh, good question. So, really, I mean, really what it comes down to, you should read. Pope Francis has a lot to say on this, a lot of good advice. So if I would just look at it in the terms of, as long as you don't have some inordinate obsession where it turns into an agenda or an ideology, or where you're isolating yourself from Catholics who don't have that same level of attachment to tradition or to the liturgy or whatever, you know what I mean? So, for instance, the Pharisees, when they were attached to the law, they were attached to the law and made an end of the law. Remember, the law serves what? Love. You don't just, I mean, we don't just have a law just to have it. It's got to serve or have the end of love and ordered towards love. But Pharisees, no, they weren't playing on that team. They wanted just this mere external, obstinate observance of the law with no interior change. So their attachment to the law was unhealthy because it served their ego and not love of neighbor. You know what I mean? So like law, tradition, whatever you want to throw into that category or question, if it's not ordered towards love of God and neighbor, it's unhealthy. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, if you're praying, I don't know, 10 rosaries, you're single, you don't have your vocation of marriage or orders. You're praying 10 rosaries, but why are you praying them? Now, if it's like, the tradition of my family and that's just what we have always done. Well, okay, what is that doing? You're literally just making this devotion or this prayer into an end of itself where it doesn't serve like growth or fervor and love for God and neighbor. I hope that makes sense. Thank you for the question. Tagalog subs to your videos to expand your reach. Well, can't they put the subtitles in Tagalog? Did I say Tagalog? Tagalog? Oh gosh. Sorry. Yeah, bud. Pope Anathema. Stream what? Stream this. Do a horror road trip stream. Start at normal, then start. Yes. Oh gosh, that would be kind of funny, actually. Big Stack. Do you want to be a mod? I'll make a. Yeah, sure. Did you get my application for the background check? Yeah, I'm done yapping. What do you guys want? I don't think it would be. Guys, what are your thoughts on having a female saint's name for Pope? I don't know about that. Oh, gaming stream. Ben. Oh, can someone put the Discord link? Here, I'll do it. I can do it. I'm trying to get a Discord, a gaming stream. We have 4 people already, but it's like maybe we need a few more people, and we can do it. You know. Hold on, I just gotta invite people. Copy. Okay, come to my Discord, everybody. All 72 of you. Okay, come on in, and we'll do a game stream because I love people. Ah, yes, Saint Jose Maria Scriva, dude, nice, so base. Father's in the house, everybody. We love Father John Brown. He's my second favorite Jesuit on the planet. It's good to see you, man. It's been a hot minute. Hope you're doing well. How's life treating you? How's Louisiana? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to dox you. Who wants to join the Discord? Don't get weird on me. What's the first encyclical Pope Leo will issue? Everyone's saying it'll be on AI, but I don't know. I don't know. W Louisiana. It's hot. Hot Budweiser. Discord right now. Yeah, come on in. Guys, right here. We got to get a rosary group going. Yeah, Opus Dei, man. They're hardcore. They are hardcore. You know. I don't think I could live up to their expectations and standards. Wait, what? I have a strike for calling a corn bot a whack-a-mole? What? I don't know what you just said, but it's funny. What is that now? Oh, that's funny. Can a pope approve an AI written encyclical, declare it magisterial? Well, you know, I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. Probably not. Well, remember, the negative charism of infallibility is a divine gift. You know, so I think AI would kind of get in the way of that a little bit. I apologize if my last comment offended you on the last stream. It wasn't my intention. I didn't realize it might be crossing a line. So again, I apologize. What comment? I really don't know what comment you're referring to. But seriously, can you change your picture? You know, it's just weird doing live streams and I have to look at my ex-girlfriend all the time. I got a suspend on X for writing Tran with knee. Tran. Bro, cigar mode, man. You gotta visit the channel quite often and frequently, okay? Oh, that's so good. Bro, we gotta have a cigar stream. I gotta sit up. How's my posture, guys? I just wrapped up a candlelight procession to the Marian Grotto here in Grand Coteau. I'm a sweaty mess. Oh, Father. Oh. Well, you know what? That's amazing, dude. I didn't know. So Grand Coteau, obviously that's in the south. I didn't know you had a Marian Grotto there. That's awesome, dude. Very good. Yeah, let's pray for Charlie Kirk. I remove, yes, bots, up to an hour a day on channels. I mod for Catholic. You mod for Catholic Christian? Do you want to mod? You can mod. Just say I'm the most amazing person on the planet, and then you're a mod. Nice. I love Jesuits. Well, I'm an amateur dude, so I'm getting into it. So Matt Fradd, he loves his cigars. The way he explained why he likes smoking cigars instantly sold me. Like how you can just chill and meditate and just smoke a cigar for like an hour. Oh man, let's go. Get off my phone and just puff on a cigar. Just puff away. Puff, puff, pass. But I want a nice cigar. I want it smooth. I want a slow burn. You know what I'm saying? I want good flavor. I want it to last. So what do you got for me, bud? Yep, let's make bets, guys. Let's do the over under on when Charlie Kirk will be a Catholic. Over under, it'll be a year. Under or over a year for Charlie Kirk's conversion. Guys, I have 4 out of 15 super chats and it's getting late. What is this hot mess? Bro, cigar mode. Where's Eusebius? No one loves you. May love a Jesuit, but come on. Okay. Well, I love a lot of certain Jesuits. Wait, for real? NT, can you substantiate that? For real? Like recently? What? Talk to me, man. I'm guessing that has a role in what he's going through right now. Okay, we could do that. Jay Pendragon, did you lose your job or whatever? You used to super chat me like 20 times a stream. I'm sorry. I didn't mean, if you really did lose your job, I'm so sorry for saying that. I'm a hot mess. I will shave my eyebrows if you guys get me to 15. It won't be tonight, but I will have a separate head shaving stream, and I'm talking with the straight edge razor and shaving cream. And then yeah, my eyebrows. I'll shave my eyebrows. Daniel, you can put it in here or in the private chat or join our Discord. James White parody. Wait, what? Yeah, could you imagine if think of the magnitude of the effect, the macro effect, if Charlie Kirk converted to Catholicism. Bro, let's go. DoorDash, that'll be $5 to come up here. Oh my gosh! Oh, dude, I kid you not. As soon as I said that, oh my gosh, that's kind of that's creepy. Okay, fine. Dude, that's weird. That's weird. I don't know how I feel about that. Fine, since you super chatted me. Michael, please don't call anyone any derogatory names. Okay? Be nice. Father's up here, so don't scandalize. I can't find anything that says Erica Fertiz is a Catholic. 13 what? We love the Jesuits in here. We're going to destigmatize. I don't understand it. I love the Jesuits. Why do people have a beef with them? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And we love Michael. We love Michael. DoorDash profits. Gosh, I hope he makes more than $5. Maybe in tips, right? How's my posture, guys? Wait, Big Stack, you're not Catholic. Okay. Can you talk to us a little bit? Appreciate you being up here, man. Not being a Catholic. That's awesome. What's your background? What are you doing? I mean, like, where are you at? All that stuff.
How we doing? How we doing?
We're just chilling. What are you doing?
Just laying in bed, so that's why I'm sticking with the PFP for today.
Yeah, that's all good, man. How are your down feathered pillows and your silk sheets?
Well, I broke my bed frame like 3 days ago, and I don't have any money to replace it, so it's like laying on a marshmallow. Like my mattress is like sinking to the floor. It's quite interesting to say the least.
Yeah, hold on a second. Banjo, bro, dude. Remember a few streams ago I said the first person to answer correctly gets a t-shirt? And then you just took off. Who else needs a t-shirt that I owe a t-shirt? I need mailing addresses. Oh, we don't want to ask questions like that, Evan. Just keep it on the DL.
It's a very cheap bed frame. That's all I'm gonna say. It's been it sucks.
Oh, you got it at Goodwill with your suit?
Exactly. What's with you and roasting my suits, and what's with the new setup or like camera angle or whatever?
Oh, it's because I got a teleprompter and the camera. It's tedious and cumbersome to take the camera off the teleprompter and then put it where I had it on regular streams. So that's fine. Do I have to be looking in the camera or what?
No, I'm just curious. That's all. I don't care that much.
Yes, you want a t-shirt. I said the first person to guess correctly, and I forget the question, gets a t-shirt. And then everyone, whatever, had their guesses. And then, Banjo. And then you were gone. Just gone. And it's gone.
Don't worry. You guys hopefully will get it by the end of ordinary time. Have you actually sent out your shirts that you were supposed to give for the trivia night, Eric?
I'm going to
this
try
guy.
I have them. Do you know how
this guy's
long?
A scammer, guys. This guy's a scammer.
Yeah.
What a scammer, bro.
I have 25 t-shirts. 25 to give away. Cameron Bertuzzi. Oh, wow. That's okay. Wait, did you tell us where you're at, though? Like someone said you weren't Catholic? Or what's going on here?
Eric, I might need you to mediate something for me.
Oh, gosh. I know it's drama. What is it?
It's not drama. You've always wanted to host a debate, right?
Yes.
Can you convince Ben to do a 2v2 debate? And I can get No. I can get someone big that he's, to make it worth his while to do it with me.
No, I don't mind, but he won't do it.
Why won't he debate me?
You already know the answer. I hope he's listening. I doubt he's listening, but wait, what is this? Ben wants to debate you?
Oh, really?
You said Ben. He thought he meant you were talking about this Ben.
No. I'm cleave to antiquity.
Ben, you want to come up here and debate us on I don't know, predestination?
I'm crying. What a random topic. No, I was gonna ask maybe if classical theists will reach out to him for it.
Oh, okay.
And I'm saying it would be me and him, you host it, and then him and whoever he wants.
Okay, hold on a second. If I get my 15 super chats, I will randomly give away a free t-shirt at
random. You got to give it to Hot Budweiser.
Why?
Because that's my guy. That's my bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Hot Budweiser.
Am I a troll, Eric? Am I just a troll now? Is that?
Wait, why are you insinuating I would say something like that?
No. I sent you the text message, right? Because Dude, I sent you the message where Evan asked Cleve if he'd debate me on Vatican II, and he said I'm a troll.
Hold on, Michael. Guys, does anyone want to consider becoming a member? So, like, if you see Mickey and Mickey, if you see Washington Sanctified, Evan, Hot Budweiser, who else? Yeah, do you guys want to become a member? We get really weird in our member streams. It's just off the hizzy.
Eric makes even more sus jokes on his member streams.
Sus. Oh my gosh.
With the bed frame joke, that was quite sus.
Bro, dude, my wife my wife is all like, quit saying bro all the time, and I'm just like, because my nieces and nephews, they're like 14 or I don't know, 8 to 14, and then all y'all Zoomers. So now I'm just going home and saying bro all day, and she's just like, shut up, quit saying bro.
Yeah. Did your wife
Evan,
just approve that you're willing to randomly shave your eyebrows?
I don't need an approval for that.
This guy.
I got a dispensation a long time ago. Evan, are you making some sort of collage of clips of me out of context or something? That would be sweet. No. Don't gift memberships. I got to turn that off. I appreciate that, Jimmy J's. Don't do that. What happens is someone will gift memberships like 5, 10, whatever, and then they do nothing with them and they don't rejoin. It's like a waste of money. You know what I mean?
I mean, you still get money off of it, though, Eric.
Oh, how?
Because they're spending money. They still have to spend money to gift the memberships. You still get that money, bro.
Is that true? Can someone say? Okay, that sounds true. Dude, Michael,
come on, Eric. That's just common sense, bro.
Dude, Michael, can you be my accountant? My Neo Thomas accountant.
How much are you paying?
Yeah, I'll pay in Goodwill gift cards.
I mean, hey, I'll take it. Hey, if you're willing to buy me my lunch, so that's cool.
Yeah, what do you want for lunch?
I don't know. Sushi's pretty good.
Oh, bro, we had sushi tonight. Not even kidding. That's hilarious. Hey, guys, join the members club or join our Discord. I'm trying to build up this Discord. Wait, who's this cat? Dub? Oh, look at that view with the no, turn that back on.
I might have to dip out.
Oh, that's a guy.
Full view. Yeah, I can't give you the full view there. Come on. I didn't mean to show that to the crowd, make you jealous. Not really. Anyways, how you guys doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Good.
Good. I have a serious question. I'm Catholic. I struggle with certain things. One of them being that, do you recall when Jesus was with the lady at the well, and he said that the Father was searching for people who would worship in faith and truth, right?
Mm-hmm. Spirit and truth, yes. Yeah.
Spirit and truth, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, now I'm being real here because I honestly struggle with this one, and a lot of people do. And the person that just mentioned it, it is Vatican II, where it says, you know what, about you know who. And so those people don't actually worship in spirit and truth. So how are we supposed to seriously, and I wanted to add one caveat to that, and then I want to hear your answer. But it is that I have read that, I don't remember which pope it was, but there is a pope that said that those documents, the ones that we're talking about, are not infallible. So it's almost like, there's another monkey wrench thrown in the mix, so to speak. So if you
That's not true. It's a dogmatic constitution. It's infallible.
But do you know, first of all, I guess, do you know the
I don't know
pope
what
that I'm
statement you're
about?
talking about, but you'd have to substantiate on that. I do not know any pope that would deny a dogmatic constitution from an ecumenical council.
Okay, it was something to do. Okay, let me look it up first. But then to address with the verse too, because the verse obviously does contain information that is substantial.
Okay.
obviously.
So you want to talk about the Jews and the Muslims specifically when it comes to worship, right?
Specifically, no, because the information that we're talking about obviously mentions a specific group, and it does not mention the Jews. So
So you want to talk about the Samaritans specifically?
that is the one verse that does come to mind specifically for me. Yes, that unfortunately,
Okay,
I mean, like, I don't know what to say.
Okay, so the passage in John 4 is talking about, so when our Lord is talking about the specific worship, that worships in spirit and truth, he is talking about to those who are giving a proper latria. Because when he refers to the Samaritans, he says, you worship what you don't understand because salvation is from the Jews. So when it comes to modern day Jews and modern day Muslims, they are at the very least guilty of superstition. So when we talk about the genus of the sin, it's superstition, whereas the species is idolatry. All acts of idolatry are superstition, but not all acts of superstition are necessarily idolatry. So, for instance, right, when we talk about God in the natural order, what you can know about God from natural reason, right? You can know that God exists and you can know some of the attributes. So, when someone makes a referent to God and it is compatible with who God is in the natural order, they can give this superstitious worship, but just because you use the term worship does not mean it's pleasing or salvific. Now, there are hypothetically, obviously, a Muslim can be guilty of idolatry as well. For instance,
If I can interject for a second, please.
what? Oh, sorry, that was my mom talking. Yeah.
Hey,
Okay,
Mom.
so hey, Mom, how you doing?
Mr. Paul.
So there is a problem that I'm seeing with what you're saying, and that is that it mentions somewhere in the Bible, and I can't quote the exact verse, but I can get it for you if you'd like.
If you
Basically,
reject, I
that
assume it's something along the lines talking about if you reject the Son, you don't have the Father.
no,
Is that what you're going to
no,
refer to?
no, no. It's actually referring to um, basically prophets copying each other, and how that is not pleasing. And I could find it. So then, what I'm trying to infer, because there's only a certain group that is referred to in the documents that we're talking about, which is what you mentioned. Now, so we know who those people are, and we know that they've copied not only certain passages, but names to try to get people to believe in their false teachings. So, and again, I want to just refer back to Jesus with the woman at the well, and say that if certain people are worshiping in spirit and truth, how can it be said that both of us are doing those same things? To me, I don't think you'll be able to make sense of it. I'm sorry to say that, but it's
You're not making the proper distinction, because when he's talking about who he's not referring to the Samaritans. He's referring to the Jews at the time, because they
he
were
is,
offering
he's
worship.
referring to both. He's referring to
He's
both
not.
because just because the Samaritan woman is considered a Samaritan woman, she's actually a Jew. She's considered a Samaritan because she married a Gentile man. So, but she's still considered a Jew. She just is.
Uh,
Yes, but later in that passage, he talks about how there will be a proper sacrifice offered not in the temple anymore, because obviously the promise of the covenant is extended to the Gentiles as well as the Israelites.
Yes, it is extended to the Gentiles as well as the Israelites. But then, if you can say that the woman there in the case of the Samaritan, because it was the Samaritan women that were marrying outside into a Gentile man. Um, it is also said in the Bible that a woman can save a man and a man can save a woman. So that would mean that these kind of clumped marriages, to where one is a Christian and the other one is a pagan, somehow that relationship can still work out to where both of them are saved. So then again, it's saying I don't understand how with the document that we're talking about in particular.
Which document are you talking about? Are you talking? So what are you exactly asking? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Okay. So if it said that Christians will worship in faith and truth, in spirit and truth, then how is Vatican II relevant into the terms it's talking about when it refers to specific groups, or one group? Actually, it doesn't refer to two. It doesn't refer to the Jews, who I would say are closer to us than
What do you
the other
mean? It
group.
also talks about the Jews in that. Are you talking about Nostra Aetate?
No, I'm talking about Vatican II, man.
Yes,
Vatican II.
Nostra Aetate is a dogmatic constitution in Vatican II.
Okay, so I'm not
Have
completely
you actually
familiar with
read the document?
some of the stuff. No, I haven't. But
Dude,
at the
if you're not
at the
gonna
same
haven't
time,
read the document, how are you going to come up here asking questions about it?
I'm going to just based on pure scripture, as well as it is Pope Paul VI who said this is what it says on Google in a quick search. I've read the exact quote before, and it says basically this: Vatican II was primarily pastoral in nature and did not define any new dogmas infallibly. And the exact quote is actually worse than that, pretty much to say that it's just not infallible because of the fact that it was so pastoral.
Just because something
You
is
understand?
pastoral does not mean it's infallible. Who have you actually read when it comes to
Yep,
understanding our
yep.
ecclesiology? Just because a council is pastoral does not mean it's not infallible. These are secondary objects of infallibility that follow
So
from defined truths.
what is okay? I'll struggle with that because I don't know exactly what the word pastoral means, but it sounds to me that it's kind of like a bunch of opinions coming together that is not
An
one of
ecumenical
just the
council
Pope.
is not a bunch of opinions coming together. Where are you getting this information from?
I just asked you for the definition of pastoral. That's all I did.
Pastoral meaning in the sense of that it's not necessarily condemning new heresies, right? You don't have, like, read Vatican I. There's a bunch of canons that condemn certain errors. That wasn't really the purpose of Vatican II. Rather, like I said, the purpose of Nostra Aetate was to kind of give, like, trying to extend the olive branch to other religions. So trying to talk about the similarities, but obviously you can read Lumen Gentium. It explicitly states extra ecclesiam nulla salus. Outside the church, there is no salvation. So when it says it's pastoral, it just mainly means in the sense of that it's not condemning errors. It's mainly, like I said, focused on, well, ecclesiology is one of the main focuses. And then also, like I said, not the purpose of Nostra Aetate is to actually extend an olive branch to other religions by talking about the similarities. However, these truths that are in other religions, they can be dispositions that prepare someone. But at the end of the day, there is no salvation outside of the church, and Lumen Gentium explicitly affirms that.
Okay, hold on, Michael. Hold on. Let me just interject and try to make it more concrete, dumb it down a little bit. All right. So, what's your name? I know it says Dub. What's your first name?
Dub, yeah.
Okay, let's go back just to the first part of your original question when you're appealing to John 4 about the Samaritan woman and worshiping in spirit and truth. What was your question about that particularly?
Because I'm reading that text specifically to say that whether it be Samaritan or Jew at the time, aside from the apostles, obviously, and those followers that kind of completed their tasks and didn't run away, although they all pretty much did. But if it's said to worship in spirit and truth, I'm struggling with understanding how Vatican II can say kind of first and foremost is the Muslims who believe in one God, and they're pretty much, it claims like almost an equality in a sense, it seems to me. Now, I know that there's a lot that goes into this and people try to explain away what it means, but when I read it plainly, I mean, why can't they just rewrite it to make it make sense?
Okay, so I think your beef is with what qualifies as true acceptable worship to God, latria, and then how can we have that jibe with Lumen Gentium paragraph 16 when it says, along with us, the Muslims adore the one merciful God, etc. Is that where you're confused?
No, that you pretty much got it. Yeah.
So so you know the distinction between natural theology, supernatural to like divine revelation.
I mean, I've heard some of this, yes, but okay. So if you could, I mean, and I don't mean to try to cut you off or add on, but I kind of have to, because why wouldn't that say also that the Jews believe in one God, that they are rejected and therefore they're just ixnayed from it? But they claim to believe in one God too. So I'm struggling with this. I got to be honest.
What are you referring to with the Jews not believing in one God? Where are you getting this? Or
So, but the Jews claim to believe in one God, right?
okay, what document are you referring to?
Okay, when I say that, I'm not referring to a document. I'm just saying that they take the Old Testament and they believe that they can read it, understand it, and also interpret so much so that they can push a law like John 5, 17, 18. Well, they got it wrong on the first one there. They got it right on the second one, but they still got it wrong when they got it right. So, in other words, they accused him of working on the Sabbath. You got that wrong because you don't know who you're talking to. And then, secondly, they said, this is the Son of God. Well, you got that right, and it is equality with God. You got that right, but you didn't do the right thing, so you got that wrong too. So they wanted to be interpreters of the law, but they still do claim to believe in one God. And so if the Muslims claim to believe in one God, but then the Jews do also, why aren't the Jews even included in Vatican II? Because to me, it
Who
kind
said
of
the
makes
Jews aren't involved
They
in
are.
Vatican II?
The Jews are included. I don't. Where you have you not read? You got to really read Nostra Aetate. Nostra Aetate, like Michael was saying, is a dogmatic constitution of Vatican II. The reason that Pope St. Paul VI wrote that, the reason was not necessarily for Muslims and Lumen Gentium for that matter, but it really was to bring back a healthy interfaith like dialogue and relationship with Jews, because there was so much anti-Semitism that just stems back from the past how many centuries, you know what I mean? So we're looking for mutual common ground primarily with Jews, not Muslims, not Hindus, not Buddhists, but Jews. So there's no equivocation between what the Jews believe and the Muslims, or at least what they claim to believe. First and foremost, both Nostra Aetate and Lumen Gentium talk about the Jews believing in the same God.
Well, I mean, and I can understand that perspective, because the only reason why I say because is because it basically says when the fullness of the Gentiles is complete, then God will turn his eyes back to Israel. So it almost means like, it's almost like the parable where it's like there's no more work to be done. And so God will do some of this work, which means he's going to show the Jews himself. There's no one, you can't walk at this point, you can't walk up to a Jew and try to convert them. They're just not going to listen. So then God has to make certain events happen so they can look it up in their books and be like, oh, yeah, Daniel is a book that's valid. Oh, this one is a book that's valid. Look, it's happening right now. Oh, we better, hurry up and accept Jesus. That's what I think. That's why things are the way they are, is because there is work to be done for all of us. Go preach, and then, but at a certain point, there is no work to be done. So then I understand it with the Jews, but then with Islam, they have their own book. I mean, how are they even going to find any of this stuff? They don't know nothing. If there's no work to be done, they're done.
That's why I was trying to emphasize the distinction between natural like theology and divine revelation, because when we say like the Muslims adore and believe in the same God by referent. We're not saying, because if you read Lumen Gentium, if you read the Nostra Aetate, look at the language. What it doesn't say that they believe in the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. They don't believe in, the procession of the divine persons and all that stuff. What they believe in through natural reason is that which has been naturally revealed through creation primarily, right? Of the one merciful, omnipotent God. Okay. That's what we mean. Like that's that huge qualification. We don't mean that their religion is the same or it's true or that their worship is acceptable or anything like that. That's not what we're saying. We're just saying like that's the referent object point of worship and belief through natural revelation.
So then, I mean, let me ask you, like, why can't they just rewrite it and make it so where people don't have
It's
to
an
read it?
infallible dogmatic constitution. You can't just rewrite it.
That's not what. Okay, so again, that's not. I can get the exact quote. I was just trying to search for it, but Pope, who is it? Pope Paul VI. He does say it.
Dude,
It's not infallible.
you don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, dude.
Bro.
No, I'm okay. We're gonna. Are you still there?
I am, yeah.
Yeah. I think we're getting a little ahead of ourselves.
I mean, I just have honest questions about this stuff. I mean, seriously, I take this stuff serious.
This is what I would recommend. I'm trying to think. Okay, this is the best I can do for you. I would read Lumen Gentium, paragraph 16. You know what I'm talking about and referring to?
I don't. Can you? Would you mind kind of like reading that, if you would?
Oh no! You don't want me reading it, man. I'm saying you need to read it, like, and then we can. You know what I mean? And
Okay, hold on. What is it again? I'll look it up here. Lumen Gentium.
Yeah, go to the VA site, the
Lumen
Vatican site.
Gentium. What was it? 16?
Here, I'll just pull it up real quick. Guys, I honestly have to go very soon. This is just like the final countdown. Okay, I have to go in about 10 minutes. I'm at 10 out of 15 super chats, and then let me just pull it up for you, brother. Okay.
Go ahead. We're in overtime, folks. You hear that? What a good guy. Thank you.
Okay, I'll read it out loud. I'll try to do my best to explain this to you. It's a stumbling block for many non-Catholics and Catholics. It just is, okay, hold on just a second. I gotta share my screen. I gotta get the
Yeah, you look like you're saying hi to a bunch of people there.
with the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on. Oh shoot, I gotta share my screen. Okay, this is the biggie right here. I just want to make sure everyone can read it. Okay, so this is paragraph 16 of Lumen Gentium. Lumen Gentium just means light of the nations or light of the Gentiles. So we're really talking about natural theology here, light of the Gentiles, like that natural light. We're not talking about revelation. We're not talking about supernatural graces here. We're just talking about what we share in common with these other religions in the natural sense. So, okay, let me read it. Paragraph 16. So the context here is here, let me just go back up. Hold on. So it's the people of God, or on the people of God. Okay. So really how it goes through the divine pedagogy of the Old Testament of the people of Israel, and then how the promise of the Messiah is fulfilled in Christ and his church and his new covenant. And so then it talks about, and because it's like this is at the end of it, finally, right? So finally, okay. Finally, those who have not yet received the gospel. So obviously Jews, Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists, right? Okay. Are related in various ways to the people of God. The people of God is really those who subsist in the Catholic Church. And you could actually say Orthodox or just any Christian for that matter, in a sense. In the first place, we must recall the people to whom the testament and the promises were given and from whom Christ was born according to the flesh. That's referring to the Jews. Okay. Christ says, I forget if it's in John. Yeah, John 4 with the Samaritan woman. Salvation is from whom? The Jews. That's from Christ's lips. Salvation is from the Jews. Okay. On account of their forefathers, this people remains most dear to God. Okay, so God will always have a special affinity for the Jews. For God does not repent of the gifts he makes, nor of the calls he issues. Okay, now this is where it gets, difficult for a lot of people. But the plan of salvation. So I just want to tell you, the plan of salvation includes every single person on earth. Sufficient grace is afforded to every single person that has ever lived and that will ever live. Sufficient grace, okay? So they're all included in the plan of salvation. And the ordinary means of that is receiving the gospel through the Catholic Church. Okay, but also includes those who acknowledge the Creator. Right here. So, okay, so my question, and it's rhetorical. You can answer it or just leave it unanswered. Can you acknowledge the Creator without divine revelation? Like without Christ, without the illumination of the Holy Spirit? Can you just merely come to the acknowledgement that there is an, omnipotent, benevolent Creator without revelation, divine revelation? Yeah, obviously.
I will say yes. Yeah, I will say
Right.
there is people. Obviously that's the difference between somebody who has a belief in God or not. So
Yeah.
whether it's
So like,
agnostic or whatever they call it, yeah.
yeah. So like in Romans 1, those who know God by the visible creation, you can come to this natural theology of, invisible realities of like a creator through creation. But it in a sense, it kind of ends there because you don't have this divine revelation of, okay, God is Father, Son, Holy Spirit, the incarnation of Christ, the Trinity, obviously, and et cetera, et cetera. You don't have any of that. Okay. So in the first place amongst these, after we just talked about the Jews, there are the Muslims who, professing to hold the faith of Abraham, because they do profess to hold the faith of Abraham. Now, this is the most controversial part of it all, right here. Along with us, Catholics, the Catholic Church, adore, and we're talking about latria worship. Now, but pay attention to the modifiers. You have, this is, I don't know if anyone really talks about this. It doesn't say along with us adore the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, because that's a part of divine revelation. You can only know that. Like where, remember, St. Paul says, it is only through the Holy Spirit that someone can say Jesus is Lord. Yeah, that's divine revelation. So we're not talking about like Christ incarnate and all that stuff. So it says one and merciful. And then who on the last day will judge mankind. That's it.
But so, yes, this is very hard to swallow because they're saying that their God is the most merciful, but yet they're saying that their God is the ultimate deceiver, and yet we're claiming, as the Old Testament says, that God is not a man that he should lie. That's what it says, that he should lie. So it does mean God can be a man, Jesus, but did Jesus lie? No. So that eliminates their claim because they'd love to cut it off right there. I just don't see where they're worshiping the same God. I'm failing to see it. Like I really don't.
Well, I'll throw a little philosophy at you. I hope it helps. Okay, so again, this is just an analogy. This isn't meant to be a perfect representation of what Lumen Gentium is articulating. Okay, it's just an analogy. So if you and I, right, if we're standing, I don't know, in a field, whatever, It's dark. It's at night. It's pitch black. Okay. No clouds in the sky. You and I are standing right side by side. And there is an object in the sky. It's bright, it twinkles, blah, 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 whatever. You and I both see this object, okay? You're like, hey, do you see that? Yeah, I see it. No, right there. Yes, right there. Okay, we're both locked in on this referent object. I, through my natural reason, I say it's the planet Venus. Okay? So I'm sensing, and through that sense, I'm expressing that this object that you and I are both looking at is the planet Venus. Okay? You, on the other hand, got some sort of like revelation, maybe from the internet or, I don't know, a scientist or astronomer. And he told you that, in fact, that is not the planet Venus. That is the North Star. Okay? Now, I, through my natural senses, I come to the conclusion that it's the planet Venus. You, through some sort of revelation by someone telling you that it's the North Star and it is the North Star, claim that this is the North Star. Are we looking at the same thing?
Yeah, we are looking at the same thing, yes. And then when I'm telling you that's the North Star, as you said, in fact, it was the North Star. But that's where I'm trying to say that it's almost like a thing where once the fullness of the Gentiles is complete, God turns his face back towards Israel. It doesn't say he turns his face towards the people who claim to be of Ishmael, which they do. This is where like I have a tough time with this thing because they're claiming the line of Ishmael, and we have in the letters it says, you are not of the bondwoman, you're not of Hagar, you're from the line that was promised the blessings. So it's not of Ishmael. And then, so yeah, we do see the same thing, but they won't see because spiritually, again, this is in the letters as well. Sometimes you could speak spiritually, but people just won't understand what you're saying. So, but does that mean that we're on par with these other people? No, maybe we've already received some kind of blessing to already see, and maybe their eyes are yet to be cleared in order to understand what's going on. That could definitely be the case, and it probably is still the case. To the four corners of the earth. Are we there yet? Well, I don't think so, but I think we might. We could be getting close. So, and then at that point, it does say he's going to turn back towards Israel. Specifically, it says that. So,
Okay.
I'm just not seeing it.
All right. Hey, you know what? It's okay. It's okay that you're not seeing it. That's not you know what I mean? That's an honest thing, because I'm going to tell you straight up, I didn't see this when I was first a Catholic. Okay. So just be patient with yourself. Pray about it, right? Research it. It's okay. It's not a big deal. But the whole tying in the line of Ishmael and how God will look back upon the Jews, I don't know why it's okay that you're bringing it up, but I don't think that has anything to do with what Lumen Gentium is talking about. I think that's just going to.
Okay. If I could, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. If I could, I think that based on the first sentence that is read there, where it's basically saying something to the effect of, I believe, those people who have not yet received the word. Okay, well, maybe they've had it preached to them and they haven't received it yet, so they haven't accepted it. And I understand that because at one point, we were all Gentiles and we didn't deserve anything, and eventually somehow we were able to accept it. But and maybe that's, so in a way it relates, is like, yeah, I mean, come on, don't act like you were just some kind of I don't know, chosen, what can I say, race or something, which still might be inaccurate. But I mean, it's not like we're sitting here claiming a bloodline to say, yeah, like we're the ones and things like that. So yeah, okay, you get you have to have some grace on these people, but to claim that they're like worshiping the same creator, it's like, well, Jesus himself says, those who have the Son have the Father, those who have the Father have the Son, and they don't have that. So I really struggle with the way that it's written. I think it's written pretty poorly. I think that a lot of documents actually lately are written pretty poorly in that they're just catching so much scrutiny that it's causing confusion within the lay people to where it's like, what is going on? Like, are you guys saying this? Oh no, they're not saying. Oh really? Well, it seems like you're saying that. Why can't you just write it clearer to where the average person can read it and be like, okay, yeah, thank you, got it. We're on the same page.
Okay, this is the last thing I'm gonna say, and then I seriously have to go. Like
Right on, brother. Yeah.
So, you brought up John 8, honoring the Son and the Father, rejecting the Son and the Father. Again, when we use the language of like Father and Son, that's part of divine revelation. That's so huge. You have to understand there's a distinction. You have to make this distinction. There's natural revelation or theology over here, and then supernatural divine revelation over there. Okay. So if you want to read Acts 17 and the Athenians and how they came to acknowledge the creator by saying we worship an unknown God. And then therefore St. Paul said, I will proclaim to you this God, which you only know by natural revelation. I will give you the gospel, right? I will show you the divine revelation, which thereby they accepted. But if they were to have stayed at that natural level, the God is still the same. It's not like that God changes, like, oh, you worship a different God all of a sudden because you reject the supernatural part of it. Likewise with the Muslims and Jews. If they reject the Son, what that means is they're rejecting that part of divine revelation. You only know there's a Father, Son, and Holy Spirit through divine revelation, or at least, have the virtue of faith to assent to that revelation. But when you have a Jew and a Muslim, right? Just because they reject supernatural divine revelation, they still can have the natural revelation of believing and acknowledging the creator per se, like Lumen Gentium articulates. And it's only in that sense. It doesn't make it a correct religion. It doesn't mean they have true worship. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that it's not laden with error. No, that's all. It's all true. It's false worship. It's a false religion. It's laden with error. But just through natural theology, they can, by referent, they are looking and worshiping the same God, like you and I were looking at the same object in the sky. That's all we're saying. But
okay, I know that you have to go. Okay. I have a problem. I'm sure I'll always struggle with this, to be honest. But for Jesus to say something like he said to the Jews about who their father is, that is brutal, and that means they don't worship the same God. And so I tend to. I don't know exactly how things happen when the lights get turned on for certain people, so I don't want to shut people out. But with that being said, with what Jesus said to them who are Jews, and he wept over these people, you know, yeah, like I said, I'm probably just never going to get it. I don't understand it at all.
no, dude, it's okay. It's okay. As long as you don't dissent, having doubts about stuff like this isn't always inherently sinful. Okay. I want you to be.
No. Listen. I like your channel and stuff. I do. And I have covers for this specific thing. I do. I have covers for a lot of stuff, and there's verses that cover for these things. Unfortunately, they're not very fun to bring up, so I won't. But this is not correct teaching. There's no. you tried your best to explain it, and I get it. So I don't want to be like running in circles, like, because that's all that it'll get told, like, oh yeah, he just keeps going in circles with it. But I wasn't hearing a convincing argument, and I still have things to cover myself. So I'm like, just hold on, man. Just hold on. Because that's all I can do. I'm not
Yeah.
going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere, and neither should anyone else. You
Oh, yeah.
can't. So I appreciate your time, man.
Thanks for coming up, bud. Appreciate you.
Right on, man.
All right. Have a good night. Hey,
Take
Frank.
care. God bless.
Yep. God bless.
What's
Hey,
that?
Frank. Frank, are you still there? The title in the video has a big question mark. So when it says Mel Gibson to Orthodoxy with a question mark, that means, is he going to Orthodoxy? I don't know. We don't know. We're going to speculate and talk about it. It doesn't say Mel Gibson to Orthodoxy exclamation mark. Guys, I'm not going to lie. I'm at 13 super chats. Can someone just throw a dollar at me? I need $2. Give me $2 for 2 super chats. There's a huge glare. See that glare? Come on, guys. 2 super chats. 99 cents. Look in your couch cushions, guys, for 99 cents. Am I lagging? Choppy. Okay. Judo jump. Bro, judo jump. What kind of sedevacantist is Gibson? I mean, really, there's only... I don't really know what that means. I mean, a sedevacantist is a sedevacantist. You think the seat is empty, right? Now, there's a set of a pervationist, but I don't know, man. You're going to have to elaborate that. Echoes, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you. I feel bad that you're throwing all your money at me because all these cheap, frugal guys are... I'm just kidding, but... yeah. Palermo, what up, son? All right, guys, I gotta go. It was fun. 2 hours and 12 minutes. Well, bro, in that case, send it all. I'd be doing you a favor. You send me all your money, you won't do drugs. Oh, that's good. So Google won't take a cut, right? 30%. It's horrible. Hallelujah, brother. Please subscribe. What other new faces did I see on here that should subscribe? Look at this. Judo jump, bro. Let's go. You gonna subscribe? Cigar mode, yeah. Guys, consider becoming a member. Here's the last call for our Discord. Last call. Miguel, peace in the Middle East. God bless you guys. All right, I'm out. I'll see you Monday, okay? Let me know what you want to talk about on Monday. Peace in the Middle East. Oh, I need one more super chat. Guys, 99 cents. I'm at 14. Come on. And no, Echoes, I don't want you sending me a dime. Don't. Echoes, no. Someone else other than Echoes has to give me 99 cents. Come on. You know you want to. Make me sleep good tonight. Come on. Come on, guys. Got 40 people in here. There we go. Miguel, thanks. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to panhandle, but like I was at my goal is 15. Why is your thing not show up? Thank you, Miguel. Appreciate you. Love you guys. It was fun. And I'll see you all on Monday, okay? Go to Mass and pray for Mel Gibson. Pray for Charlie Kirk. Love you guys. Praise be Jesus and Mary.